Hey, what's up guys? Thanks for joining Chef Talks. This is the channel that's dedicated to teach you how to cook like a real chef. So, if you're interested in techniques and upping that culinary game, make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, because we're going to keep doing these. And I'm going to start with the basics, and we're going to work our way up to fine dining, and you're going to do it with me. If you like what you hear, subscribe, and let's get cooking. Hey, what's up guys? Terry Foster here for Chef Talks. Today we are talking about knives. So, I know that sounds pretty basic, but you'd be surprised how many people I see cutting things wrong or just using their knife wrong in general. I'm a firm believer in making sure that you use the right tool for the job. So that being said, first tool that every chef should know about is the chef's knife or cook's knife, depending on who you're talking to. This is basically the first and most important knife a chef is ever going to get. And the reason is that in the right hands and with the right training, you would be able to use this for almost every single job in the kitchen. So, that being said, it is not the right tool for every job. Sometimes you want to cut something that is either soft or really crispy, and running a chef knife through it just isn't going to work because it either crushes it or just breaks it if it's something that's crispy. You're going to want to use something like this. This is a serrated knife. As you can see, it's got some teeth along the bottom. These teeth allow it to bite and chew into the food. This is not something you would want to carve meat with. It's not going to look as nice and pretty when you're done. It's going to look all kind of shredded up. So this, again, not the right tool for every job, but if you're cutting something like, say, for example, bread or tomatoes, this is a really great knife to have. That brings me to something I wanted to let you guys know. I'm going to be running a contest at the end of this season where you can win your very own professional chef knife. So make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can follow along and learn how you can get your own chef knife absolutely free, sent from me to you as a gift for thanking you for watching this show. Now, moving on, if you're doing a lot of meat cutting, you're going to want something more like this. This is a slicer. It's got these little ribs along the bottom. Those allow the food to release as you're cutting so it doesn't stick. It's great for if you're cutting, like, for example, cheese or something like that. It won't stick to the blade as you're cutting through. It falls off nice and easy. But primarily you would want to use this to do like a roast or something like that where you want to get really nice cuts, nice and smooth and thin. This is a very sharp knife. The blade's a little bit thinner than your chef knife. Again, make sure you're always running it on that steel, keeping it nice and sharp. With that, another common tool would be the carving fork. Carving fork is great for holding that meat while you're cutting it, and you can run the top of your knife along the side of the fork, allowing you to get nice thin slices every time. Moving on, we have the fillet knife. Fillet knives are thin, very small knives. They can be longer depending on what type of fish you're using. You might want a longer one. This one's more for smaller fish like bass or things like that. The one characteristic about the fillet knife that makes it what it is its flex. This knife is able to press against your board so that when you're taking the skin off, you're able to just pull it through that thin blade as it's tight against the board. So that's the purpose of the fillet knife, mostly used for fish, but there are some other places where it might come in handy. The boning knife, this is kind of the workhorse knife. If you're taking apart, say, a lamb leg or a chicken, something like that, and you really need to get into those bones, that's the knife you're going to want to use. There's no flex to it, very hard knife. Then you would have paring knife. Paring knives are great for when you're peeling something, cutting up something small or doing fine detail. Most paring knives you would see would be a straight blade. This one has a curve to it, but that's because this is actually a turning knife. It's a specialty knife for doing different types of cuts. Alright, that's it for today's episode of Chef Talk. So if you enjoyed it, hit that thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notifications so you can learn along with us. And otherwise, I'll see you next time. Good cooking.